Hello. Welcome once again to another episode of the Space Sheriff Gav-sudan, the only show that manages to trod through what is ultimately the most painful thing I've ever seen. Okay, maybe not the most painful thing I've ever seen, but it definitely is pushing the line towards just being nonsensical, just what is the point? What is the point? Well, basically, it's a show that has no rhyme or reason, and we're here to try to sit here and try to understand why it has no rhyme or reason. I'm, of course, your host with the most, the mercenary with the kicks, coming to you from 2026. Call sign Hinch, and hope everyone's having a lovely weekend so far. I hope everybody is ready for the week ahead. I hope everyone is rested and ready to take on the world. But first, we got to get through this. So welcome to another episode of Space Sheriff Gav-sudan. And today, well, before we get into the main course of this all, if you can want to even call it that, I think we need to talk about something that dropped yesterday that I really should have talked about at the time, but it felt more fitting to talk about here, right? I think it's a little more fitting for us to talk about it here. So let me go ahead and grab this real quick. I think I put it in. I can just grab it from Discord real quick. Let me go ahead and grab this real quick. This is just a tease. I'm worried though if I play it though, it's going to be copyrighted because it's ooh, that's the thing. But I feel like it needs to be seen. You know what I mean? It needs to be seen to be believed. So yeah, let's go ahead. Let me go ahead and pull this up for you guys. Give me 1 second. It needs to be seen. It needs to be understood. So let's go ahead and let me just jump to our gaming screen like real quick. There we go. Let me go ahead and show y'all what I'm talking about here. Actually, hold on. I need to stop the music right quick. Hold on. All right. Let me go ahead and pull this up. I was just here. What the fuck? Oh, here it is. Woo. This is the new hotness that's coming down the pipeline. And it got me really reconsidering my stance on not doing a review for this because it looks cool. And I feel like it needs to be seen. Hold on. Turn up the volume on this real quick. I need y'all to witness this with your peepers. This might get copyrighted. If not, I might have to edit this out of the VOD. But this needs to be seen. Beep, 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 beep. The goats! This is so awesome looking. It's so good.
Yes. Yes.
Like, y'all want to know what happened to the Zords? Y'all want to know what happened to the mechs? Fuck that! Kaijus! Motherfucking kaijus! Motherfucking kaijus, yo! Like, I wanna like actually show there's a particular part of the frame that like illustrates that this is Project Red in every way, shape, or form. Like, see if I can get over to it. It's gotta be precise with this. Like if you, I don't know if you can see it there, but the form factor for the Megahorn looks cool, but I don't have hope for the story at all. Yeah, I don't blame you, especially after how we've been kind of like thrown around with Gavan, but I want you to like really look. Does that not look familiar to you? Gee, I wonder what that is. Huh? I wonder what this is. It's the exact same form factor as the Emor gear. It's the exact same form factor. This is literally the one thing that we can visibly see that is tying these two stories together, which means that if they are genuinely going to cross over, that means that Kakusei Hunter Omega Horn can actually use the Emor gears just like these things. I don't know what these things are called, but these things are literally the same. So there's a so literally that's one of the only things. It's the same gimmick. So like these things, and I think it's like looking at it in that light that it makes more sense that these are like if you look at the name of Project Red, it's Records of Extraordinary Dimensions. So while Gavan kind of just deals with a few dimensions, there's a few that he hasn't dealt with. And this is one, a world where Gavan doesn't even exist. Instead, we have this dude. Which, by the way, Ash Ketchum looking motherfucker. Jesus Christ. Like, can we go back to the suit? Can we go back to the suit? Look at this shit. My man has a backward hat on. It's the fucking same shit. It's literally like, because here's the thing. I was originally like talking about like this was gonna be like a Pokemon thing. So when it talked about Omega Horn, I thought it was gonna be a big motherfucker, but not a kaiju-sized motherfucker. I thought it was gonna be one of those joints where he starts small and then like maybe like some power makes him like into the suit or some shit like that. No, motherfucking kaijus, dog. Fucking kaijus. And I'm sitting here like, bro, y'all remember the fucking like dude, there was like a few series. I mean, obviously Godzilla, that goes without saying. But then, like, I think Ginga Man did stuff like that. Honestly, I don't even remember the last time we had like kaiju's on that level in Super Sentai. I think Ginga Man was the last time. Wait, what's the one I'm thinking of? What ended up becoming a Jungle Fury in the States? I forgot what it was called. I forget the name of that season. I don't remember if it had kaiju or at least animal formed mechs. I don't remember. But yeah, it's funny because like this screams, "Oh, I'm a Pokemon trainer," but then kaiju's, motherfucker, kaiju's like this is a mix of like Pokemon and Monster Hunter. Geki Ranger, thank you, Geki Ranger. But like this is literally a mix of Pokemon and Monster Hunter in a Tokusatsu themed suit. Like I can't even like begin to describe it. And I'm sitting here. The teaser itself is like so good that like I'm sitting here like reconsidering my stance. Because if y'all remember a couple of weeks ago, because of like that, how bad the post, like how bad the episode where we finally see like the train, where we finally well not the train itself, but when he uses the train power up after he gets them for the mech and everything. That episode was so bad that I screamed to the heavens that I was not doing another Zatsudan after that. Like, we're finishing the Gavan one, and then I refuse to give Omegahorn that courtesy. But I look at this and I'm like, how do you not? How do you not? It's fucking kaijus. Like, I'm not still 100% on that. I need to see more before I make that decision. But, like, from what I'm seeing, this is kind of cool. Like, I'm vibing with it. You should give it 3 Eps. Yeah, no, that's a rule. I mean, I gave that same rule of thumb to Hibiki, and that's the reason why I refuse to finish watching that series because that sucks. But yeah, maybe I will. I'll have to think about it. I will definitely need to like mull it over a little bit. Plus, we need to see how Gavan ends, because if it has a satisfying ending, at least, then at least I can confidently say, yeah, I'll do another Zetsudan. I'll do another Zetsudan for Omega Horn. But yeah, we need to see what's going on there at that. And I will admit, I do like that it's like not trying to be serious. Like Gavon is like weirdly trying to be serious when the premise mostly doesn't call for that. But like right off the rip, like they hit us with some comedy. I'm like, okay, this is not taking itself too seriously. Like this entire interaction with the freaking megahorn, with the megahorn, with the actually no, that is what it is, a megahorn. What the fuck? Damn! Like this entire sequence,
よし
like that entire thing, it's not taking itself too seriously. Just going off of that, it doesn't take itself too seriously, and I think it might actually be worth looking into, at least giving it a chance. But again, I'll have to mull that over, see how I feel about it, and then we can proceed from that point. So, but yeah, we need to see how Gavan wraps because Gavan, I feel like right now, like if we're going off what we saw from the preview last week, if we're going off from what we see, his character is cheerful. Yeah. So like it's not taking itself too seriously in that regard. So I think it's very much a how do I put this? It's very much not going to try to be serious. And I feel like if it doesn't try to make itself as serious as like Gavan did and just make it more lighthearted, I feel like at that point, whether it has good lore or not, I think it'll still be an enjoyable watch. That's the thing. So I feel like, yeah, we got something going here. Am I 100% confident in that I want to make a Zatsudan of it? I don't know yet. But we have like 6 weeks to figure it out because it's already been confirmed. Uh, Gavan has 6 more episodes, including this one. So let's not waste any more time with it. Let's head back to our cinema real quick. All right. Everything has been shown, but I have high hopes for Megahorn. I think it's going to be a nice little romp. I think it'll be comedic. I think we're going to have a good time with it. It's not going to take itself too seriously. I mean, clearly it's not trying to. Like, it's cool, it's badass, we get kaijus, but, like, the main character is not trying to, like, treat this as, like, oh, I have to be the next I have to be the next kaiju master. No, he's a little goof, and I think that works for him. I think that works for him. With this concept, it should have an epic story. I hope. I hope. Because what I think the Project Red people, the former Sentai people, are failing to understand is that we as Toku fans are craving story. Takahashi understood that. That's why we got the epicness that is Zets. But I don't think the former Sentai people, now the Project Red people, are getting that through their head. And I think if they like start to look at Zets and understand, yeah, we need to start telling some fucking stories, then yes, but so far they kind of like dropped the ball with Gavan a little bit. So I'm skeptical, if nothing else. But speaking of Gavan, so This is kind of like the inverse story of the first time we met Luminous. The first episode was named Kiki and Koto. Now this is Koto and Kiki. So now we're flipping it. But this is supposed to be actually a deep dive into their past, which is something I'm noticing that Gavan, for some reason, now wants to talk about their backstory when we're right near the end. You know? Because last week we delve a little bit into Setsuna's backstory. And I'm like, why now? Why couldn't this be something that happened way before? Like, why did they wait until we're near the show to like elaborate on their backstory? And it felt like a weird choice. And now it looks like they're delving more into it with Luminous. So it's a bizarre choice. I will fully admit it's a really weird decision to elaborate on their backstories so close to the ending. But so far, I mean, they did tell a compelling story last episode. They did tell a compelling story. So I'm willing to like see what it means, what's the direction here. I'm willing to like stick with it. Because I think next we're probably going to elaborate into Reia's stuff. I don't know for sure. Because Reia's been oddly absent from the show. Right? He's been oddly absent. Like, I get his whole thing is that he is legally not able to. The last episode was not good. I thought it was enjoyable for what it was. You know? Like, obviously, we're not. It wasn't as bad as the episode that came before it. But it was definitely better than that. Now, would I say we were breaking ground with that last episode? Fuck no. But, you know, at least it was better than what we got before that. I will say. But it's weird that they're delving into the backstories now, but we're going to see, like, where they're going with this. We're going to let them cook, despite my better judgment. So let's see. So right now we're going into the backstory of Luminous a little bit. This is episode 19, Kiki and Koto. Here we go. Remember, blurred for copyright purposes. Oh no, there's no subs. There's no subs. God damn it! I'm gonna have to go through context clues. Did they really no subs? Really? Oh, we're watching the Raw, I guess. I'm gonna have zero context of what's going on. That salute is still weird to me. Why do we have to invert the hand? They're very cheery about this. Oh, great. Dance number. What is the point of this? Why are they dancing? Cat, what pisses me off is that without subs, I don't know what's going on, which means I can only go by context clues, and then I'm going to have to come back to this when they finally add the damn subs. Okay, I heard Sensei. This must be their former teacher. Yeah, I don't. God, you think I've watched so much Japanese media? You think I would have picked up something? Wait, why is she going in alone? What the fuck? I genuinely forgot who is who. I think Koto is Luminous, I think. Terrain. So when does our boy come in?
やあ、岩井先輩。お会いできて光栄です。
あなたが加納くんですね。
What is happening? I hate that I don't know what's going on.
宇宙一優秀だって証明するんです。宇宙でただ一人のギャバンを倒してね。
これは
僕が考えた理論迷路型の起爆プログラムです。解除できれば先輩の勝ち。投稿します。できなければ校長は吹っ飛び、後には僕がギャバンに勝利したという輝かしい栄光だけが残る。さあ、カウントゼロを。
I feel like this feels like maybe
嘘だろ。だって
はい。タイマーを止めたりカウントゼロを遅らせると爆発するロジックが組まれている。
I don't understand what's going on. I'm like, it's just so weird.
プリンに置き換えちゃいました。これでカウントがゼロになることはありません。
ゼロプリンに。
I feel like he's challenging her.
想像以上でしたか？
これが本物の天才。これがギャバンか。
Okay, I think I heard Tensei, so I'm assuming that he's challenging her intelligence. Like, he's supposed to be like the smartest motherfucker in their class, and he wanted to challenge her somehow.
銀河連邦警察の特別採用試験。捜査官になればギャバンへの道が開ける。小さい頃からずっと。
If I had to guess, I think he also wanted to be Gavan. I don't know. I'm guessing here. I can only guess without subs.
守りたかったものって何ですか？
Which is weird. Normally they have the subs up next day. I wonder why they didn't have them here.
私は資格を得てギャバンになりました。でもギャバンは宇宙に一人。同じ夢を見ていたことはギャバンになれなくなりました。お願いします。それでもコトはずっとそばにいてくれてます。私が守りたいものを一緒に守るために。
守りたいもの。
大好きなコトとコトがいるこの宇宙です。
Yeah, I have no context what's going on, man. Without subs, I'm lost. Without subs, I ain't got shit.
誰も教えてくれませんでした。そんなこと。
Wait, what? Wait, what? Who shot her? What? Why did her teacher shoot her?
Kiki, しっかりして。Kiki!
Oh, shit.
その子の体は毒トキシンに侵されている。間もなく生き絶えるわ。助けて。一般人への狙撃。乗着する前のギャバンならきっと生身でかばうはず。あの人の言う通りだった。
What is happening right now?
頑張っても評価されない。誰も私を認めてくれない。それはその子みたいな天才がいるからよ。優れた存在がいるせいで私たちの評価が下がる。ギャバンなんてこの世には必要ない。
Huh?
生徒会長くん。
That wasn't that your teacher? Why is she going rogue?
刺激してあげただけで言う通りに動いてくれたもの。
大変だ。岩井先輩が毒の銃弾から僕をかばって。何？毒だと？救急隊動揺する。はい。
これって全部先生が。
They,
どうして？
I feel like they filmed that before they did makeup for the previous scene.
願いもらぎや。あの人って。
All right, where's our guy? The guy in more gears here. Where's our dude? Oh.
あの人だけは私の感情を理解してくれた。ギャバンを倒せば私にもっといいものをくれるって。とどめを刺しちゃいなさい。
Okay, this is getting... There's our guy. There he is.
了解。座標イオタ5と丸9にロックオン。
I do like the Geki to have more gears. Like, it's like, I don't know why. Like, he just... There's something going on there. Whoa! What? That was a plan! It was all a ruse! Makyu space. It was a ruse! Black Gavan is back, baby! Activate! Chochaku! Love it. Alright, this is the action we're here for, baby!
ダメです。妖精シグナルが空間の外に届きません。
無駄な悪あがきだ。
Oh shit! They about to make an example out of our boy! You're gonna have to make a choice here, Kiki. Or Koto. Sorry, I forgot. Yeah, their names are so interchangeable. It's so dumb. Koto, you gotta make a choice.
ダメですよ。これまで通りじゃ。え？ギャバンは宇宙に一人だけ。つまり、コトにはこれまで以上に宇宙一支えてもらわないと困ります。宇宙一って当然です。私たちは
Uchu. Space. I don't know, I was about to say Uchukita.
そうだ。私たちは二人で最強。
You have to make a choice.
誰かじゃない。私が危機を守るんだ。
It's not gonna work, is it? It's not gonna work.
あなたギャバンじゃないじゃない。
She doesn't have. I think the thing is, I don't think she has quite the understanding of Amor gears as Kiki does. So it's not gonna work. She doesn't really like vibe with them. I don't know if that's like the right term, but there's definitely a feeling of she never really like took the time to understand them.
私が危機を守るの。カンキ、お願い。到着。到着。
It's not gonna work.
到着。
And in a moment.
あれ？
Oh! White space.
どこ？
野蛮となり彼女を救いたい君のその強い感情が次元を超えてこの場所に届いた。だが
Wait, what?
野蛮は宇宙にただ一人。その選定には高次元の意志が深く介在している。
何？
God, I am so in the dark.
同じ野蛮が重なり合うことは因果と法則を大きく歪める。人間が受け止めるためには歪みと同じ大きさの
He's definitely one of the commanders, but I don't.
何を捧げればいいの？
野蛮に関わるすべての記憶。
え？全部忘れちゃった。
There's definitely a revelation. If I'm going by the music, there's a revelation here, but I don't know what it is.
全部。いいよ。私の記憶
それが私の一番の喜びだもん。
Whoa.
歓喜
There it is.
到着。
歓喜アクティベート
Not today.
なんと私もギャバンに。
到着。それはギャバンシステム発動のコマンドだ。では
That if she transformed, the Kiki will forget everything. Oh
コマン
no.
ドを受けて臨界点を超えたエモルギーがトリガー内に凝縮されたギャバリオン粒子と融合。わずか1ミリ秒でコンバットスーツへ放射成形され。
That's a weird price to have to pay, though, isn't it?
アクティベート
That's a weird price to pay. To become Gavan is that Kiki's going to forget her memories? That's kind of fucked.
どうしてあなたはギャバンじゃないはず。宇宙刑事ギャバンルミナ。行くよ。
おとなしく俺についてこい。さもなくば
Like, this doesn't feel like a price any of the other Gavans had to pay. You know?
どこだどこにいるキャバン
So why does Koto have to pay that price?
君かいいところにインフィニティがデスギャバンの空間に取り込
Wait, Rhea! What the hell?
何インフィニティの居場所を探れるか任せろ私に
I don't understand it. Right? It's such a bizarre thing to dig that all of a sudden the power of Gavan comes with a choice. Like, why?
風波流次元渡り
And also, our commander is in contact with Rhea, so I'm confused. What is happening behind the scenes right now?
インフィニティ今だ来ないよーし
Let's go! Big mech fight!
一気に行くぞ
Big mech fight feel, baby!
任せろ
Now we're gonna see the Express shine, baby. Full henshin sequence, full transformation sequence and everything, man. Bikuringa! With a fucking giant... Okay, that's kinda cool. That was a mouthful. Yeah, he's dead. Or at least the Emmons is dead. You know Death Gavan ain't gonna die like that.
まさか
コスモゲバリオン消耗率 73% を超えています。
レイジこれ以上の作戦行動は危険だ。
Oh, he is pissed. But you know what? This is it. This is finally the episode where Reiji doesn't show up to help one of the other Gavans. It's all them. Now we have a more combat-forward Gavan here in Luminous. The last one was more like technical know-how. Now this Gavan is about to fight. Oh! X-kick!
私はキチとキキがいるこのうちを守る。
We're finally getting an episode where Reiji doesn't intervene. That's so good. I kept saying we need at least one. Fucking finally, man. Oh.
を倒さないとご褒美がもらえない。それって本当に先生が欲しいものなの？誰にも理解されなかった。たくさん傷つきもした。それでもキキは不思議がいっぱいなこの宇宙が大好きで、それを守るために野蛮になった。誰かを傷つけろっていう人が
She's just got a gun to her head and she's so calm. A broken woman. So wait, if Kiki does it mean everything about just being Gavan, or is it everything?
ナノマシン輸液投与完了。バイタル回復しました。急いで搬送を。はい。
ごめんね。私あんたのこと忘れちゃうんだって。キキ？
ああ、あなたは？
Oh no.
はじめまして。どうかされましたか？
Oh. That's sad, man. She truly, it's everything. Koto's alone now.
ギャバンに関わるすべての記憶。
まさか
She doesn't realize the repercussions of what she agreed to.
記憶をなくしたのって。
Oh, the eye twitch. Holy shit. She doesn't she's now she's now understanding the repercussions of that choice.
キキ。
That is horrible, man. Here's the thing. Okay, out of the show, like backstage shit. Is this supposed to be Kiki's final episode? Is this like her send off? Are they? Is this them writing off the character? Because if so, that's such a weird choice. Why would they write her off in this form? Write her off by having her not remember anything. Like, why? No, she'll still be there. Then what is this? What is the meaning of this? Like, I'm confused. What does it all mean? Literally forgets everything about her? That just feels that feels so weird. That's such a bizarre choice. That's heartbreaking, man. Bro, that,
暗躍するアザゾルス信者たち各次元の囚人が解き放たれ訪れる危機
oh, great! They're bringing back all the villains!
覚悟が試される
All the criminals!
超宇宙刑事ギャバンインフィニティ愛がゆえにお天道様をなめんなよ
Okay. That's just... Okay. We need to dissect this, like, really quick, like, because I have questions. Why? So, they touched on her... on their relationship further back when they were younger, and then when Kiki became Gavan Luminous, and all this stuff. And then they, like, insert this bizarre choice that, like... Because, let's be honest. Freaking Infinity didn't have to go through this shit to get his power. I know Raya didn't have to. Because if not, his sister wouldn't remember him. Bushido didn't go through this shit, so why did she have to go through this shit? What the I don't understand. I genuinely do not understand the decision here. What was the point? Like, yeah, like, this feels like so... Yeah, like, there's no rhyme or reason to anything. And here's the thing, I'm not mad. I thought this episode was, just like last episode, it felt like there was a point up until that particular aspect where Kiki loses her memories because Koto becomes Gavan. That was weird. And it made no sense. Look, I was all... Like, this episode was still kind of good in a vacuum, but still, like... That is still a baffling choice. That was... Because, like, what's the lore implication to that? Like, what does it mean that Kiki can't remember shit now? Like, what does it mean? And you know it's not going to last forever because in true Toku fashion, she will regain her memories through the power of friendship and willpower and shit. So, like, what's the end game of this particular move? Like, what is it? I don't quite understand what the decision here is. Like, it makes for an emotional story, and, like, it does make for an emotional story. This episode was very emotional because of that. But when you look at it in the grand scheme of things, what does this really do? Like, with 4 episodes left, why do an amnesia angle now? Like, what's the payoff? Like, what is... I don't quite understand. Like, what the decision is here. We're 4 episodes away. No, 20, 21, 20, no, 5 episodes away, sorry. We're 5 episodes away. What purpose does this serve? Like, I would understand if maybe, like, Kiki knew some sort of irrevocable truth of the universe that only she can resolve, and her not forgetting everything would be... Then I could kind of understand it. But no, Kiki's whole thing was like she's happy-go-lucky, she's very smart, but like she very much everything that she knows, Koto knows because Kiki told Koto. So now what? What was the point? I genuinely don't. If they had mentioned this in the first episode, I feel natural, but no, they're doing this when they're finally... Exactly. Like, if this was like a requirement, right? Like, I guess... Okay, maybe we're unthinking it, because here's the thing. When you become Gavan, that doesn't happen. But if there's a transfer of power, then I can see... That kind of makes sense, but it's weird that it's still weird that they made this a plot point so close to the ending. You know? Like, if they make Kiki, like, talk to Koto and telling her. Yeah, like, I feel like that's just so weird. And also, why did that commander need to pop up to Koto in a vision? Why did it have to be in this weird white space thing? Like, Why? Why are we in another that entire sequence made baffling sense. Like, I don't want to say it made zero sense, but it's still so out of left field that I don't get it. This show, okay, if you want a show that is the epitome of throwing shit at the wall and seeing what sticks, this is that show. Because they just be doing shit. There is no rhyme or reason to this show. This show is genuinely, let's experiment as much as we can. That's what this show feels like. Because and I kind of had that feeling that's what this show was when they threw the ant gavan at us. Like, they're definitely like trying to like they're just feeling things out as they go. There's not a cohesive story. I mean, there is, but it's not very much adhered to very much. But it's more like we have a semblance of a story. Let's just throw the kitchen sink at everything else, and things will fall into place. Yeah, like, I feel like it would have been more natural if like Kiki had mentioned that, because she's supposed to be the smart one. So she should have said like, "Hey, if you ever need to use my power, just let it be known it's because I'm in a dire way, but it will mean that I will forget everything." That would have made more sense. But like, they just shoehorned it in. Like, it feels like a baffling choice no matter where you look at it. It sounds like not then. Like, okay, I'm not going to say the Gavan is any better, but it's not any worse either. Like, it just feels very experimental. Like, very not underground, but it definitely feels very not par for the course. Because like it just feels like, okay, we're just doing what feels right in the moment. But then that begs the question, why did they think an amnesia angle with only 5 episodes left was the route? And clearly Kiki is still going to be there. Clearly. In what she shows up in the preview, it shows up in the preview that Kiki's still there. Why? If she's a total amnesiac, if she's a total amnesiac and doesn't remember anything, at that point, that feels like at that point that should have been, hey, this is us writing her off the show. This definitely would have been their way of writing Kiki off the show, because at this point she doesn't remember jack shit, so she's going to lead a different life. They're going to MacGuffin some way to get her memories back, so this is going to feel pointless in the grand scheme of things. But like, why do we have to go break? Like, the ending was very much powerful. I will grant it that. Because again, they even made the outro sequence all the great memories with Kiki as if that's Koto remembering them in real time, and that's her dropping to her knees. Right? That is still a very powerful visual, but only if contained in a vacuum. Like, if you're able to like not look at all the inconsistencies and just turn off your brain and enjoy it, then yeah, this is a fucking heavy episode. But if you're like us, who are like hyper analytical and are craving for good storytelling and everything, you just look at this and the overall implications to the lore itself, and it makes no sense to do, especially with the timing. You already miss Sentai. Let's be honest, like, maybe Omega Horn will give us that feeling back, but like, I feel like Sentai was kind of like in a bad state. Even if they kept it going, like, it was just going to lose them money. Like, looking at it from a realistic standpoint, Sentai only had that long recognition on name value alone. But in terms of what stories they could tell, they had kind of hit the wall. Right? just to be clear, before they canceled Super Sentai, the next season was going to be another Magical Academy season. And we've done that already with Mystic Force. Or with Magi Ranger. So, like, it made no point to do. Right? At that point, they're just retreading old stories. So, I understand from a money standpoint that to still be doing Sentai when you can't generate anything new, like, at that point, you're kind of... Yeah, you kind of have to make a choice. I'm not going to lie. Like, Boom Boomger I thought was good. Boom Boomger was... But if you think about it, we also have Car Ranger, Turbo Ranger, Go-Onger. Like, we have a lot of freaking seasons involving cars. And then martial arts, Dai Ranger, Geki Ranger, and animals, Ginga Man, Zyuohger, Gozyuger in a sense. We were just the only thing that was like super unique was freaking King Oger, and they blew that load already. That was like the peak of Super Sentai. If anything, if they had ended Sentai after King Oger, I don't think anybody would have been mad at that. King Oger would have been the perfect send-off. But for all intensive purposes, we ended up with Gozyuger, and the legacy of Super Sentai is worth nothing now. Which I get is a little bit dire thinking, but like, oh man, like you just ooh. So I can say it as oof. There was no way that was like ultimately we were gonna get anything groundbreaking at this point. And I'll say it straight up, like, I love Super Sentai. But Gozyuger left such a fucking hole in my chest that, like, I don't think if they had continued Super Sentai, I would continue watching. Like, whether you like it or not, whether you look at it from a corporate standpoint or from a fan standpoint, there was no way any of us were coming back to Super Sentai after that. No way at all. Especially with the bumbling and fumbling of that entire season. With the Maya situation, the bad writing, the controversies around the show. It was a perfect storm to say, like, we have outstayed our welcome. And I hate to say that. But it definitely gives off that vibe of we have fucked up royally. We're not coming back from this. I will agree. Dawn Brothers was unique, but the problem with you just weren't my favorite parts. Yeah. Okay, here's my thing though. Dawn Brothers was unique, yes. But you would only like it if you were truly like a Japanese person, like a Japanese native. To us outsiders, and I can't speak for everyone, but for me personally, I looked at Dawn Brothers and I was like, this is too Japanese for me. Like, whoa, this is like, whoa. Like, I feel, because it was very much too cheese for me. You know, like, this is like, if you're not like a part of the culture, this is going to like not resonate with you, right? So to me as a person, just a casual onlooker of Japanese culture, I'm sitting through this entire thing. I'm like, half of this shit is flying over my head. Like, I ain't getting half of this shit. And then on top of that, and then you look at like everything that came after that, and like they're not really, but they didn't do this concept before, so I mean that's fair. That's fair. But my whole thing is that, like, yeah, Gozyuger was just a perfect maelstrom of just horrible shit behind after horrible shit, right? Like, Super Sentai name and legacy, even if you think that it didn't do much damage, it did enough damage for them to not want to bring it back. Super Sentai was doomed the minute Gozyuju was coined. Not because of the concept, but because of the writing, the people involved, and the mishandling of situations. People lost trust not in Toei, because by that point, Zets had already started and we were like in. We were in. So like Toei, like any bad blood that Toei had, any mishandling they did, they made up for it with Zets. But the name Super Sentai was already dragged through the mud. Like, there was no redemption, really, outside of nostalgia. So all you can do is just shut it down and do something new. And I will commend them for starting with a familiar IP in Gavan, but they've mishandled the writing of this show so badly. The only thing it has going for it is that nobody on this cast is dealing with any controversies. And no one has to, no one's doing anything, that hurts the brand or anything, but it's just the writing is shit. I can only assume that, if you're giving us a whole new concept in Omega Horn, I can only dream, nay, hope, that the writing for Omega Horn is going to be good. Is going to be at least better than what we got here. Again, I don't think Gavan is a bad show, but it's definitely been mishandled because it's meant to be this experimental thing where they're trying things and everything they've tried has not landed. I mean, a few things have. I will say the Ant Gavan landed, but so many things were off the mark that it ain't there, man. This ain't it. Michael Jackson's This Ain't It. This is not... Ugh. I don't think it's a bad show, but it's definitely middle of the road, right? It has its bad things, it has its shining point, but this is definitely a missable show. If you right now told me you skipped out on Gavan, I don't blame you. I do not blame you. But if for someone who had high hopes because they were bringing Gavan back, and then to see what it has become in this show, it hurts. It hurts. Because I have so much love for the original Gavan for the 2013-2014 reboot. And then to see this is what Gavan has become, it hurts the soul, man. It hurts the soul. I can only hope, thus, cross my fingers and dream that Omega Horn will be better. And my biggest hope is that it's not taking itself seriously. And I already am going in with the mindset that the show doesn't take itself seriously, and I think I will enjoy it because of that. But for Gavan, which was presented to us in such a serious tone, and then for it to just kind of go off the rails, it hurts the soul. It sucks. It just freaking sucks. I mean, Gavan has its moments. Gavan Infinity has its moments. But overall, it's just misguided. It's a misguided train wreck. But out of morbid curiosity, I still continue to watch. Because there's a part of me that wants to believe that the ending will be good, but I really shouldn't. Because if I'm looking at the way Omega Horn is, it feels like there's not going to be a definitive ending. Because the way it looks like is that this is going to be an ongoing story told amongst several generations. Amongst several new heroes in different dimensions. Hence, Records of Extraordinary Dimensions. This is a story they're going to continue to tell through different people. The only difference in each story is that we will center on them, and whether the guys before them show up is kind of like left up to guessing. Because overall, this is supposed to be what like Ultraman is now. It's supposed to be that like previous gens will show up, will do shit, will be there for a little bit, and then fuck off. Not for like a crossover movie. No, because it's part of the lore. Now, do I think it'll be good? I don't fucking know. But like, this is a horrible first impression. Horrible first impression. Because and to give at least credit, or not credit, I don't know what to say, but at least the benefit of the doubt is that like these are former Sentai writers. You guys need fresh blood on the writing staff because these guys are still treating this like it's Sentai and are afraid to take risks. These guys, and bear in mind, the people writing this show are the in-house writers. Like, not, because here's the thing, some seasons will have like their own writers and they'll nail it out of the park with Super Sentai, but other seasons had a de facto in-house writing crew, and their seasons range from mediocre to shit. It's that same team writing Gavan Infinity. And by the looks of it, they have a writer in charge of each episode, and more often than not, they do not communicate with each other, which is how we end up with the clusterfucks that we have now. Have you heard of Ultraman Teo? No, I have not. I'm not a big fan of Ultraman. Like, I like Ultraman, but I'm not actively following it. Because, I don't know, man. Ultraman to me has been very hit or miss. Right? Like, I liked Orb. Ultraman Orb, I liked him. I liked that whole thing with the feud with Belial and all that. Ultraman X was another good one. I did not like R&B. I did not like, I forget the one that came before Orb. No, not Orb. No, Geats. No, Ultraman Jeed. That's what it was. Ultraman Jeed I liked. Orb, hit or miss. I didn't really care for it. And then R&B I didn't care for. I liked X. X I liked. Orb I didn't like. R&B I didn't like. Geed I did like. And then after that I just didn't follow it much more. But yeah, I did like Tiga back in the OG, like old school Ultraman Tiga. I did like that. Because oddly enough, they did air that in Central America and translated. It was crazy. But not a big Ultraman guy. But I respect the legacy. I respect it. But to me, if you're going by that and how Ultraman operates, that's what Project Red is supposed to be. Whether they'll nail it out of the park, I don't know. But forecast not looking bright, especially if we're taking Gavan at what we're seeing. But next episode, it looks like the fallout, and we're starting to like tease the end game. At least I'm hopeful, because I can't. Yeah, actually, if you look at the preview, it's kind of unclear. Like, Black Gavan is there. There's a criminal. A couple of the criminals from the past show up again. Mainly the crime lords. Yeah, it looks like they're definitely starting to set up the final episodes in the next one with Death Gavan there, but not really interested. You know, it's just sad that the new thing is not new at all. The thing though is, I feel like Omega Horn is kind of very fresh, because that concept has not been done in Tokusatsu, at least as far as I've seen. Right? Like, a monster catcher Tokusatsu with actual kaijus? I've never seen that. It's just original enough. You know? So I'm cautiously optimistic. Right? I'm cautiously optimistic. Whether it's going to perform well, we won't know until July. We won't know until next month. So let's all just strap in. Actually, no, we won't know till August because Gavan ends on July 29th, I think the date is. Let me check the date. No, Gavan ends on the 25th, so we won't know until August 1st. Yeah, okay, you were talking about Gavan in that case. Yeah, it's just sad that it's really not new. It's just Sentai with a Gavan skin. That's literally what it is. It's literally the shit Sentai that we got at the end, but with a Gavan skin. And it hurts to say that, but calls it how I sees it, brother. Calls it how I sees it. But Gavan is almost done. And we can just kind of like... So, yeah, that's where we are right now. That's where we are with that. So I think on that note, let's just go ahead and end it here, folks. I will say, despite the baffling decisions, this was an okay middle-of-the-road episode. So, take with that what you will, but at least it's almost over. Whether I still don't know if I'm going to do a Zatsudan for Mega Horn. It's going to deal on what these last 5 episodes do for us here. And I think, like, we're down to, like, ride this out to the end, I think. So on that, it's going to start on the, no, I think I already announced the last episode. Oh, wait, I need to go back to that post. Hold on. Because I retweeted it. It starts July 26th. Which obviously for us is July 25th. Okay, no, you're right. I'll grant you that. So that means that Gavan ends on the 19th. Hold on, I need to count this. Hold on. So we got 19 this weekend. So 20, 21, 22, 23. Okay, so it is ending in 23 episodes. Okay, so we have 4 episodes left. Okay. That's fair. Yeah, it is what it is. But anyway, I think on that note, we're going to end the show here. I want to thank you all so much for coming out to another episode of the Space Sheriff Gav-sudan. We'll be back next weekend for more Tokusatsu goodness. And I might stream during the week because I feel like I want to get back to doing some gaming stuff. So we'll see how that goes. But for now, I'm not going to confirm anything. I need to think about it. But we will be back next week for more Toku goodness. So thank you all so much for coming out to another episode of the Space Sheriff Gav-sudan. Let me see where I can send my Twitch peoples to real quick. Who is doing things right now? Let's see. Must send my peoples to spread the love to other peoples. What are we doing here? Ain't no way Diction only got 58 viewers. That feels very low. That feels very low for Diction. What the hell? I think I'm going to send you guys over to Omnibites, who's playing... actually, before I get ahead of myself, let me see if I can even send the raid message. Alright, so I'm going to send you guys over to Omnibites, who's playing some Death Stranding 2. So show them that love and that cool Henshin Core way that you do if you're on Twitch. If you're on YouTube, the stream's just going to die because YouTube doesn't know how to rate things. But on both platforms, thank you so much for coming out to another episode of the Space Sheriff Gav-sudan. I have been your host with the most, the mercenary with the kicks, coming to you from 2026, Call-Science, reminding you that the future is yours and yours alone to conquer. So conquer it by any means necessary. I love y'all. I will see you later this week, or I will see you next weekend. Until then, stay sexy, stay safe, but overall, stay awesome. And I will see you all next time. Peace out.